Welcome to It Is What It Is, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Shamri, and today I'm going to fill you in on day one of Means and Pryor trying to get Mr. Robert Wood thrown out. And there's a secret recording between Mr. Rob Wood and Summer. And Summer is Lori's sister. So first, I'm going to let you listen to it because a lot of people haven't had the time. And frankly, I'll tell you the other part of it afterwards because I want to sound like an ass. But anywho, I'm going to let you listen to it. It's only 18 minutes long, and then we'll jump to it because you have to listen to the phone call to understand what court is about. So without further ado, Mr. Wood and Summer.
It's a case because they were last seen in Rexburg. Yeah, or were last living in Rexburg.
Right.
Tyler was last seen in Yellowstone, but and so we were the ones that knew everything about the case, and so they assigned us on that. I'm just going to tell you right now, we are going to be filing conspiracy to commit murder charges against both Chad and Lori. And we're not shy about that. I've told.
And that was a good from her lawyer.
His attorney keeps pretending like I've never said that. Whatever. What? But we have to.
Yeah.
We have to. But I kind of want to give you a little bit of background of where we are, and kind of our kind of theory of how this ended up where it was. We know that this is not the same Lori everyone else knew. What's so strange to me is everyone we talked to who knew Lori before this, well, she was primary president. She made quilts for these kids. She made everything fun. Mm-hmm. Everyone loved her. She loved everyone.
Great mom.
Great mom. That's what everyone says. And so the one thing I'm going to kind of ask you to consider is maybe something happened. I don't know what. I don't know if it's psychological. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever know. But something happened, and I think Colby, the way he said it to me, I think it's like the person who's in that jail cell is not my mom, it's someone else.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is that, I shouldn't say the flip side, but I want to be clear. I'm not going to pull any punches on any defendant in this case, right? I've got my job to do. And,
absolutely.
But we also want the truth and the whole truth and the context of it. And Chad Daybell is. Did you ever meet Chad?
So I met him once at a Preparing People. I went to one Preparing People thing, and my mom and husband and I went to support Lori, and she wanted to support Mel, so we went and met Chad after he talked for 90 seconds, maybe, if that. And then he called me when Lori got transferred to the Idaho jail. He texted me and said Lori wanted to talk to me, and I was like, yeah. And then the second I hung up with her, he called me to ask me about bail for Lori. So I've talked to him maybe 3 times briefly on the phone, never a long extended conversation. But the first thing he said to me when he called me was that he said, Lori hasn't told me very much about the kids, so there's not really much I can tell you about it.
Right. Of course you said that. Well, welcome to Chad Daybell. So what I want to kind of
I have my own opinions formed of him.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
He's highly manipulative.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm not going to say he's highly intelligent, but you don't have to be highly intelligent to be highly manipulative.
Absolutely.
He is extremely manipulative, and I want to. Your sister manipulated him in some ways too, but the context for everything that happened came from Chad.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, we have enough evidence to prosecute him, and we are. The case against your sister is stronger. But I kind of want to give you just that background. That's kind of the context we see this as. This guy came in here excuses for anyone, but kind of blew up this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not care who died,
Mm-hmm.
who got hurt. He did not care at all. And the other thing I'm going to tell you is your sister truly believes that everything she's done has been done in righteousness.
I know.
And I know I'm kind of using LDS speak.
Yeah.
It's 100%. That's my interpretation also.
Yeah.
I think she 100%.
She believes it.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, you'll see kind of a little crack in like a jail phone call. Or she'll.
Well, you've heard our conversations, so you know that I get that she's not fully aware of what she's really done.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think she is.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm going to say it this way. I think she knows what she's done.
She knew enough to lie to us about it.
Yeah, but the context under which it was done was this religious, just these ideas that are out there. I can say this because I am LDS, like no basis in the LDS faith. You said it in your phone call to her. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at, and but again, we're just really grateful for you coming in. And it's going to be hard to talk about these things.
Oh, yeah.
We know that, and they're going to be nice, because obviously, you're not even a person of interest.
Yeah,
in
we've
this.
had
You're
that
not
conversation.
yeah, and but part of what we need to do is understand when you have a case like this, it's not like just like a meth case. Like, oh, you had meth, no one cares who you are.
Yeah, there's no drugs, no alcohol.
Yeah.
It's just
But this case is
Yeah.
we need to understand the context of who these people are.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of what they're going to be asking you about.
Yeah.
And,
I'll do my best.
like I said, I know it won't be easy. I know it's going to be a hard interview. For you, but
I was wondering if you would be willing to tell me, if you're able to tell me, if there's any progress in what you know about Tylee and her death. Is there any progress in her autopsy where you understand better?
all I can tell,
Sorry, people.
Would you have a cause yet, or is it close to one?
she is at the FBI's state-of-the-art crime lab. Unfortunately, there's a lot of deceased bodies there that they're going through.
I'm sure.
And so we're not, we don't know really any more yet. And we may never know due to the
Yeah.
the destruction of that body. And we hope we'll find out. We may not. But obviously we know it's her. There was soft tissue that was still preserved enough to do DNA tests.
Yeah, I'm thankful you guys found them. Like,
Yeah.
we wouldn't have ever known.
Yeah.
And I would have never dreamed that she would have ever heard them. So,
You know what? And everyone says that.
yeah.
That's what everybody says. I never would have. So it's a tragic thing.
It really is, yeah.
And but I just want you to know how grateful we are. I know you don't have to talk to us, and so we're just grateful that you're willing to and helping us that way. And I'm sure kind of difficult knowing like they're asking me for information that's going to help them in a case against your sister, but I guess the thing I want you to know is our whole goal is just justice for these kids, and our hope as it comes to it. Your sister's actually made some overtures. She might be willing to talk to us.
I hope she does. I pray for them all the time.
We hope she does.
Yeah.
She actually was talking with Chad about talking to us before we found the bodies, just a few days before, and he talked her out of it, which is too bad. It would have been better for her to tell
Yeah,
us.
sure would have been.
I mean, we were actually just finishing up our warrant on the day that she said that. We were just getting ready to go out there, but it would have been, that would have been even better, and he talked her out of it.
Yeah.
And then the night before, she says to him again, like, hey, what do you think about, and he uses this kind of, I call it spiritual abuse, spiritual manipulation. We we've all seen that guy in the LDS religion whose wife has to obey him because he has the priesthood type thing. And that's not what it says, but it's the same type of thing. You know, well, I'm the visionary guy, so, you know. Anyway, again, I just wanted to meet with you real quick, introduce myself, and Mackenzie.
I've obviously seen you.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't take any joy in doing anything that's going to harm her. I don't take joy in her spending her life in prison. There's nothing.
Sure.
It hurts to think about her being in there.
There's nothing good about a case like this.
There's
right?
nothing good about it.
Even if you win a case like Garrett's been in court, like there's cases. Even as a prosecutor, like you take to trial and you win, and you're like, even at the end, you're like, well, nothing good is it's all bad.
Yeah.
It's all bad.
The one thing, you know, I said this to someone the other day who knows your sister, is our goal is sometimes you get a murder and all you have is that murder and you just have to run out and charge it and then kind of put it together. We were able to put them in jail with a high bail and these lower charges and put together a case. And our goal is to have such a strong case that when she has competent counsel, I don't know if you know this, her attorney's never handled a felony before. He's never done any meaningful criminal work at all. And he doesn't know what he's doing. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's lying about me. But he doesn't know what he's doing. And once we file further charges, she will be appointed counsel who will know what they're doing. And our goal is to put together such a case that they're smart enough to say, it's going to be better to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think we are. And make it easier for everyone. Make it easier, especially, you know, for Colby. Like, if there's someone who's lost everything, it's him. So, anyway, I mainly just wanted to thank you for coming and being with us. And
It's weird to be on the prosecution and defense's side at the same time because I love everybody.
Well, you know, it's a system. I did defense work for I did it for 5 years, and I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I like defending.
And I gave me that perspective, right? Like, just because someone's committed a crime doesn't mean they're a horrible person.
So I'm so torn with all of it's such a conflicting feeling to know that this person's been good her whole life and then has made this error in judgment and got accepted into this vortex of this man. Mm-hmm. And I feel for her. I just have so much compassion towards her because I know that's not what she would have ever done on her own.
Right.
And so she's going to pay the price for this forever. And I hate that for her. So I'm very conflicted. But I was going to ask you on the concealment, or not the concealment, but on the conspiracy to commit murder, what's the weight of that in terms of jail time? Is that a death penalty thing? Or
it is a death penalty case now.
Are you planning to ask for that for them? Or do you not?
We sure hope we don't. A lot of that will depend on her.
Okay.
And it's that's not a decision, or that's a decision we don't make actually until usually after the case is filed.
Okay.
And we have a couple months, because a lot of times you file it, it's out there on the table, and then oftentimes that's a big motivator for people to get together and talk and try and resolve it. And that's what we hope happens. I have no desire to do that. Plus, once you do that, it's endless appeals.
Yeah.
I don't think the other family wants it at all because
It's prolonged.
the case just never resolves really in a way. Just kind of, they appeal this and they appeal that, and it can go on forever. So we're sure hoping not to go down there. No, I'm not saying I won't. If we go to trial, I might, but we haven't made up our minds on that.
Okay.
We don't want to. I can tell you that from the bottom of my heart.
Knowing her, if she comes out of this state and realizes the weight of it, she may prefer that. Honestly, I think about that all the time with her, just because of what she's been through. Just kidding.
Well, I know that you know a lot more about Lori than I do, but we have learned a lot about Lori, and there's I mean, there's been some things happen in her life, I think, that have played into this.
Oh, definitely.
And so But yeah, like I said, I talk of that in a one way a little bit sure, but I want you to know that I have no desire to.
Yeah, I think you see it for what it is.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know how you couldn't with interviewing your.
Well, it's yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, when I was there in Hawaii, when that the order to produce the children was served, and I was there when they served the search warrants, where the news showed up, which I was super annoyed by that. I never wanted it. It's just blows everything up, right? At that moment, when we saw them, like, your sister can put on a brave face.
Oh yeah.
We were like, oh, does this guy know what he's gotten into? And because she was just very, very stoic, very like, I'm not going to say a word. And he looked like he was about to pee his pants because he's actually a wimpy person.
Yeah.
Is he wimpy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great if he has someone else to do something for him, but he himself is a person. And at the time, we're like, this is all her. Like, how does she hoodwink this guy? But then once we like dug into, that was the beginning as we're like starting to get facts. As we got more facts, like, oh, again, I'm not going to pull punches if I have to go to trial, but these ideas came from him.
Oh yeah.
And she had some different views on theology than like standard LDS by that point. But he really knew how to manipulate that and turn it into something even more.
His influence was there before she met him.
Yes. Yeah, she was reading his books for...
It wasn't just his books. So it was like the Julie Rowe podcasts.
Oh, yes.
He gave Julie Rowe a lot of her ideas. And so when she would listen to Julie Rowe, she was getting Chad ideas too at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Julie Rowe. She's interesting.
I've heard some of her podcasts. When she started talking about herself in third person all the time, I'm like,
Yeah, I listen to her podcast as well, and interesting stuff.
Garrett doesn't like it when people talk about themselves in the third person.
so it's very
Rob.
suspicious.
Well, hey, we'll let you get going and get started on this.
I was going to see if you guys wanted some wristbands to take back with you. These are wristbands I had made up for Tylee and JJ.
I would.
And Garrett.
That's okay.
Take them as you want.
Give them to everybody.
I'll tell you what.
If you want them, we did a balloon release.
They've got a couple of wristbands for, let's see, there's Ron, Ray.
You could just take the whole bag with you. It's fine. Just take
Oh, do you have more than this?
Oh, I have plenty.
Okay.
I have
You can't order less than 100, so you know.
And I made up hundreds for. I started off just doing them for Tylee and JJ's friends and teachers. We wear ours all the time, so just keeps it close.
Thank you.
Yeah. You guys.
Sorry.
That's all right. It's okay.
You've been in it. You know.
Emotional thing.
You know, it's interesting how you can, in Rexford, those kids went there very long. But there are kids.
Yeah.
And,
Anytime there's kids involved,
yeah.
it's not okay.
So, thank you.
Yes.
There's not a woman among us that doesn't want to protect the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, well, I'll text Nathan. If you need, I don't know how long if we want to leave us down to days and days, and we obviously don't have that. Any breaks you need,
Yeah, I'll run it. You bet. Yeah. I told him she's got questions she needs to ask me or needs to use the bathroom, or we'll shut it down and do all that. So.
Okay. So, then, I watched the whole court the first time. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. Mr. Pryor is so boring to listen to. I fell asleep. Ignore that back. Anyway, so I fell asleep the first time. And then I went to work and I rewatched it. And what we're in court for is obviously to get Mr. Wood thrown out, right? Because they're saying that he's a meanie and he doesn't follow the rules. Which, amen, we just saw. which, I mean, he didn't break any rules. He, from what I understand, came very, very close. Like, he is on the white line. Like, ooh, it's hot, 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 hot. But I don't know. I mean, you listen to it, okay? Really, what do you take away from that? So, what Mr. I say Mr. and he growls. I don't know what his deal is. Anyway, so Mr. Pryor is like, he was mean. He said mean things about my buddy, and which, I mean, if this is his first time doing anything like felony wise, is that really a bad thing? I mean, so far, Mr. Means seems capable, right? I mean, we've all said he's done like a couple weird things. But so far, I mean, I would prefer Mr. Means to be my lawyer than Mr. Pryor. I'm not even going to lie. Like, if I had to pick between those two, Mr. Mean wins. But, I don't know. So anyway, so we heard the comment about Mr. Means, that this is the first time he's done felony anything, he's not prepared, he doesn't know, and that when they do charge her, because the state is going to charge her with some kind of murder, then she'll get to act like a better lawyer, a better person to handle her stuff, her position. So he said that. And then he said the thing about Mr. Pryor's guy, Chad, about how he almost peed his pants and how he's a pussy, a wimp, and how he's controlling and it's all his fault. And then they're saying, well, maybe because this conversation happened and Mr. Wood was like, hey, I'm LDS too. And I want to point out that he did not bring that up to get praise with her. He didn't bring it up to, well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but he didn't say it in a way that he waited for an effect. You know what I mean? He wasn't like, because I'm LDS too. Pause. No, he was just like, well, I am LDS and this shit's crazy. So, I mean, they're trying to use that too, that he used his religion to sway her. And so, I don't know, do we have a case of just an overly nice fella? Because everybody said that there was, well, there wasn't any really question. He didn't ask any questions. Sorry, you guys just have to deal with him. I do. Mac, stop. Mac. And anyway, so, I don't know. On Friday is when we go back to court on Friday. So sorry. I had to pause real quick and try to find the paper that my puppy was fighting, because he was fighting it. If you guys didn't just hear that. I think he won. Anyways, so on Friday, we go back for closing arguments and to finish this up. I'm really hoping Mr. Means comes out and he's just like, you guys are just crying because I said that you're fucking stupid and I said that your dude's a bitch and that you're retarded too. So I don't know. I don't think we should disqualify him. I think that was perfectly fine. And they're trying to say that bringing up the death penalty, which, by the way, she brought that shit up. I don't know. They're trying to say that he was using that as a way to get her to go back to Lori to be like, hey, he told me he's going to get the death penalty, but he said if you talk to him, then maybe you won't. Maybe it'll be better on you, vice versa, or whatever. But that's not what he said. He never once said, hey, if you go tell Lori this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other will happen. Never said that. He simply said, I don't want to, but bitch, don't try me. You know what I mean? Like, I will. Don't push me. But I don't want to. So I don't know. I think on Friday, and really, so they had a lawyer from he's not a lawyer. Well, he is a lawyer, obviously, but he's a teacher at Idaho and at the college in Idaho in Boise. And he was at the very end, and the judge asked him pretty much in everything that he looked into, did this ever happen? And the answer is no. No one was ever made to get off of a case because of this type of situation. Because really, we don't know if Mr. Wood even supposedly changed Summer's opinion, because obviously, frankly, we can tell just by the comments made, Summer's not a fan of Chad. Okay, it's her sister. But then again, we also know that it is weird that she is on two sides because she's the aunt. And I mean, there was talk that her lawyer said that I guess there's a phone call between the sisters that is like crazy powerful and moving and never in his years. And by the way, I hate when people say that. Never in my so on years have I seen this happen. Shut up. Really? Never in 20 fucking years has this ever happened before. This is the first time. Miracles happen every day. Like, just stupid. And then he says, I told Summer that I was going to start recording it. He did not start recording it when he first goes into the room. He doesn't. He starts recording it. Her lawyer starts recording it when they bring up the death penalty and they start talking about that. So it's already 18 minutes long. So they didn't even get the beginning. So we don't even know. And he never was like, hey, just so everybody knows, I just hit record on my cell phone. And then they were like, well, where'd you put it? He's like, I don't know, on a table, on my phone. I don't know. It was on my phone. I put it somewhere, obviously. And then he says that they don't even sit down, that this all happens while they're standing. So, like, oh my God. And then he says that he told Summer that he was going to record it. So in my head, the way that she's asking questions, is she asking questions because she's like, oh, he said that he's going to record this. So maybe if I get him to say this, or I'd say that, or do that. So did her lawyer really corrupt everything? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really Mr. Wood's fault? I'm not going to say that. Because I think that her lawyer, by telling her, hey, I'm going to record this just in case anything shady happens, we can use this to benefit your sister. Because everybody's talking about, oh, this sister love, which I understand. I love my sisters, okay? Love them. One of those two bitches kills my fucking nephews, my niece. I love you, but girl, I'm done with you. You know what I'm saying? At least for a couple years. Punishment's a punishment, brah. I can't be like, well, I don't know. In this case, though, I kind of agree. I really think that Lori got corrupted by Chad. But then again, I don't know. I gotta wait because I don't really know much about Lori yet. I have a lot of opinions, which obviously I do, but I don't know any facts as of yet. So we gotta wait for trial and I don't know, nonsense. So on Friday we'll find out and then I'll tell you guys, obviously. And I don't work on Friday, so it'll probably be out on Friday what happened. I'm on my lunch right now. It's sad. Anyway, but yeah. So tell me what you think. Do you think that Mr. Wood is a bad guy? And by the way, I'm not the only one who thought Mr. Pryor was freaking boring. Literally, it looks like Mr. Means falls asleep for a second. Like, he literally looks like he's zoning in and out. I'm not the only one who fell asleep. And it was just weird. Like, in my opinion, it was just like a dick showing contest, really. Like, one dude, her lawyer, hears it, records it, goes to Summer, and he's like, hey, do you think, I'm going to ask somebody if what Mr. Wood did was legit. Because I don't think he should have said that Chad was a pussy or that your sister's facing the death penalty. I don't think we should have done that or whatever. So he goes to a different lawyer and asks. And that lawyer was like, oh, no, not really. And even the teacher was like, this is case number uno muno of not what to, don't do this. It's like, he's like, I teach my students. Mr. Wood's probably going to be a lesson now in the world of don't do it. And that's fine. We all learn from our mistakes. And honestly, I believe if he would have known he was being recorded, I don't think half the things he said would have been said. Because nobody likes to say the truth on the record, except for me. And so, I don't know. I think that yes, maybe he did say a couple of the things to be like, hey, tell your fucking sister to tell me something. Talk to me. Don't go down for this dude. But on the other hand, I really think that he was just like, you're on both sides. So really, like, girl, this shit is crazy. Imagine being these people, because like they can't go out and talk to everybody about this even though they want to. And you just want to sit down with somebody and be like, bruh, crazy doesn't even begin to start what this is. And like what has happened. Because that's not just the children. I feel like everybody keeps, and yes, I understand the children. It is very, very, very tragic. They are children. But these fuckers didn't just kill children. Like, we got a mother mysteriously dead. We have a father shot. We have a brother who never had a blood clot a day in his life mysteriously get a blood clot just in the nick of time and die. And by I say in the nick of time is that fool was going to go down for murder. Not just conspiracy to commit murder. Murder. We all know that his psychopath ass is the one who done did it. They just plotted it. And I think Chad had something to do with it too, to be honest. At least JJ. Maybe even Tylee. I think he played a big role in the murder parts. I don't think that Lori was there for the actual killing. In my opinion, I don't think she was. But I think that bitch damn knew. You know what I mean? I don't know. I really want to hear every phone call that's ever been made from the Rexburg jail. I really do. I want to hear them all. Ugh. I can't wait for all of this. I don't want people to take deals. Is that mean to say? Because like I really don't. Because I want to know it all. And if you go and take a deal, I gotta wait. I gotta wait for it to be leaked and fucking all that nonsense. And for somebody to make a documentary. Like, ugh. Goodness gracious. But I don't know. I think Mr. Wood's badass. I think he's done an excellent job. I really think that he was just having a normal conversation. And it's been taken out of context. But like I said, I also do believe that he did say some of the things he said to put into her head. Like, hey, girl, tell your sister. Well, then she also admitted, bro, my sister's fucking batshit crazy right now, okay? We gotta wait for her to wake up. So I don't know. We'll see on Friday. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere, but we'll see. So tell me, what do you think? Tell me. When I share this, there's a comment section. Bam, right there. Go ahead. I would love to know. Have a great weekend. I'll hit you back on, oh, have a great hump day. I forgot it's hump day. Have a good hump day. We'll come back on Friday. And I have a visit with my brother on Friday too. Side note, super stoked. But yeah. And then, oh, and I'm going to make decals of my It Is What It Is with the handprint and the blood dripping and the Idaho sign. In between it, if you want a decal, let me know, because I'm going to get some made. So that'd be really cool. So yeah, let me know if you want one. And have a great hump day. Bye.